When I was young, mahilig ako sa mechanic stuff. I take apart appliances. I fix stuff.
Okay, okay.
So I'm more of a thinker from the very beginning.
Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in and welcome back to the Tour Moto channel. And it's been a while since I posted my last video, but this time I'm gonna take this bike for a PMS. So it's basically changing the fluids, like the oil, and checking the bike if there's something that needs to be repaired or replaced. And yeah, so I've been actually asking around where's the best place to take the bike, and the obvious answer is to bring it to Royal Enfield, of course, because they have all the parts, fluids, and the expertise that's needed for what I'm trying to do. But there is one name that keeps popping up and very interesting because this guy seems to have mastered the Royal Enfield Himalayan. So he's more of like a Himalayan whisperer where he can fix basic issues to more advanced. So he has good experience with the bike, not only riding it but also fixing it. So give him a text message and he's kind enough to say yes, not only that he's gonna do the PMS for the bike, but he will also share with me some of the most common issues and the fixes for those issues. So I'm gonna film it and share with you the conversation. So I hope you learned something from this video. So stay tuned and let's do it.
Mahilig ako sa mechanic stuff. I take apart appliances. I fix stuff.
Okay, okay.
So I'm more of a thinker from the very beginning. So when my brother got into motorcycling, he bought a sport bike. First bike niya Z400. And that guy's a speed demon. Actually, the first thing I tinkered with was not that. The first thing I started doing is tuning suspensions. Sa car kasi ang dami mo kailangang baklasin para lang iabot.
Right.
Since the motorcycle's naked, generally mostly are naked, I can easily fix it and tune it. So I studied how to tune suspensions first before actually doing anything part of the engine.
Seriously?
Yeah, and because he's a sport bike rider, suspension is actually more important. You feel more, since yung travel ng suspension lang mas maiksi, the suspension needs to be properly tuned.
Yeah.
And since he's 250 pounds, before, his tuning is different from a normal motorcyclist. Heavier people need better tuning. Talaga.
Of course,
they require it. So yun nga.
So ikaw nag-tune nun?
Yeah.
Ikaw pinag-experimento nun?
Yeah, we had to get yung timpla, yung tamang timpla. So kailangan namin kunin yun. Tapos ang dami naming deficiencies nakikita sa bike. Pero we had to fix it one by one. So that's where it started. And eventually, one of my friends got a Himalayan. Tapos, sabi ko, ako na lang mag-ayos for you. I helped him, sinamahan ko to buy his second-hand bike. Tapos yun, from there, dire-diretso na. Sumasama na ako sa grupo.
Yeah.
And more problems popping up. Tapos I just offered to help. Initially naman, I never asked for anything. So, I just fix things for fun.
Yeah.
It's fun for me kasi if you leave me alone, without anybody to help, I'm gonna take apart my own bike.
Yeah, you're still gonna do it anyway.
And
right?
I'm gonna take apart my own bike and look for a problem that's not there. Ganun ka problema.
Okay.
Nangangati, I'm bored as fuck.
Pero like this is more of like a hobby for you, no?
Yeah, this is a sideline.
Hindi to para main source of
Yes,
income.
it's not a main source of income.
Galing.
That's why there's a part of me parang should I continue? Or if ever I continue, parang I'll just do it for fun. Parang ganun lang. Number one issue, yung tornilyo ng battery mo naglo-loosen.
Seryoso?
Oh, that's the number one issue. Because of the vibration of the bike, yung tornilyo mo
Saan talaga yung rubber? Ng
yung screw? You really have to tighten it tight. You have to really tighten it a lot. First electrical issue namin yun. We were stuck sa highway. We didn't know why. The bike, pag inon ko, umiilaw. When it started to crank, namamatay lang. Tapos nawawala yung ilaw dito. Hindi ko alam na yung tornilyo pala ng battery problema. kaya ako kanina, I changed a customer's battery. I really have to tighten it. I have to tighten that. Kasi if not, pag namatay siya sa gitna ng daan, ako yung bibintangan. Kasi nga, it already happened to several of us.
Common na siya.
Yeah. Tighten yan, para sigurado. Kasi if not, it'll just loosen up and you're screwed. What the hell's going on? Ganon. Mag-SOS ka pa sa buong grupo.
Feeling mo kung
Oo. Pero in reality, ang sikreto lang pala, high vibration bikes or any bike na lang, just do it for all. Tighten mo.
Ayun, maluwag na.
Medyo maluwag. What happens is, you've heard of the Himalayans na nagsastall sa stoplight?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the TPS is too low.
Okay.
Yun nangyari. So what happens is the computer is thinking na you need less fuel. Ano nangyari, pinapump niya sobrang baba, namamatay yung bike mo.
Pero ano yun, is it a setting issue or?
It's a setting issue.
Okay.
Physical setting mismo. So since I don't have a computer to diagnose it, I do it manually. I tap into the wire and check it out. Kaya tatanong mga tao para saan yung perdible.
Oo nga eh. So tutusukin mo yung wire.
Para makita ko yung voltage.
To get a reading.
Yours is good. Yours is spot on. You don't have a problem.
Talaga?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I never had that issue eh.
Yeah. So your settings are perfect, which is a rare thing. Like very few people have this setting na parang sakto lang.
So what should be the reading?
Ako, from my experience, it has to be around 0.67, 0.68, or 69.
Okay.
Don't reach
Oh.
0.7.
That's,
Many
somewhere in the
people
middle.
have it as 0.62, 0.58. Pag 0.58, 56, namamatay na yung bike mo.
Okay.
So yours, I'm happy you don't need to change it na.
If it falls beyond that, yung normal reading, what do you do?
I officially push it down para tumaas yung voltage na.
Okay, okay.
Kasi it's an adjustable sensor.
Mm-hmm.
It's just locked by a screw.
Okay.
So yun. If it's too low, I have to adjust it. You've seen the problem, stator.
Yeah, talk more about that. What about the stator? Because I hear that a lot eh.
The stator issue happens to almost all the carb types.
Okay.
And so far, 1 or 2 pa lang sa first generation FI. Nangyari, nasusunog yung stator because the copper wire is too thin.
Too thin.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you fix it? Just replace the stator?
You have it fixed by replacing it or rewinding it, one of the two. Pero since the cost of a replacement aftermarket, the cost of aftermarket replacement is
Cheaper.
cheaper or equal to the value of a rewind, you can just choose to have it
Replace na lang.
So for 1x1, nare-resolve naman kasi 1x1, nagkaka-mileage na yung mga carb types and they're able to be fixed na.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll never have that problem after everything has been resolved. Steering head bearing.
Okay.
The
Ito yun.
bearing of this one, your bike is 3,000 kilometers, right?
Yes.
Generally, it happens on the 10,000 kilometer mark.
Which is?
Your bearing underneath
Okay.
rusts. It rusts. Nangangalawang yan. Nangyayari yan, over time, pag slow speed sa traffic, tumitigas yung handlebar mo, lumalaban. Lumalaban ang handlebar mo sa traffic.
Kasi, ano na,
Kalawang.
wala kalawang na yung bearing.
Kalawang mo yung bearing.
Okay.
So you have to have it replaced. The problem is, the bearing, the original bearing is not suitable for the Himalayan. It's
What?
Yes, the original bearing of the Himalayan
Is
is
not
not
suitable
suitable for the Himalayan.
Okay. So what's the
People in
workaround?
India, they're complaining that they're saying it's not nickel plated.
Okay.
It rusts, kumbaga. So what we do is we replace it with the Japanese bearings. So we make it
Using the
last.
same
Same
crown.
size,
Oh,
same dimension, same size of a bearing. We use the Japanese ones and it lasts longer. When I replaced mine, it lasted 20,000. So far, magta 30,000 kilometers na siya.
Wala pa
So
naman.
20 kilometers, 20,000 since changing, and I haven't had a problem ever since. Just to give you figures, last month I replaced 15 of these.
Wow.
I have talked to a metallurgy guy and he said it's probably because of the grease. The grease used in this one is not good. That's what they also say.
I think that's a common thing sa Himalayan. Parang,
Lumalabas nga parang if you keep on having it changed with the original bearing, you're gonna keep coming back to keep having it replaced over and over. You have it replaced by a Japanese bearing and use a different grease, and I think you'll be good.
First issue I got on this bike is yung squeaking sound ng swing arm. I mean that's what? That's even less than 1,000 kilometers.
Yes.
It's too early for something like that.
It's
right?
not the bearing. The problem is the
Grease.
spacer.
Ah, okay.
There's a spacer here. I'll show you underneath.
Is that a common thing as well?
Yes,
Yung
actually, there's a
squeaking?
customer that came before you had the same problem.
Okay.
Actually, my problem is, it's a problem that I tried to fix. It came back after a week. You see this aluminum thing behind? Kita mo yan, aluminum.
Yeah.
That thing is the one making the sound. That's a spacer. That's not a bearing. Ang nangyayari dyan, because naka-bolt on tight yung yung axle mo, it clamps on the spacer. Yung spacer ngayon, kumikis-kis dito sa bakal nito, saan siya naka-mount. So
Okay.
it's scraping the metal here underneath. Yun yung kung saan siya naka-space.
Yeah.
Kumbaga nakaganon siya. So
Oo.
it's scraping this one, and that's making the squeaking sound.
Ano solution doon? This is grease?
If you can try to grease it, it might come back kasi grease requires requires a place to stay put. If you put grease, it'll just be pushed away. Kaya bumabalik siya after 1 week because the grease is slowly being pressed
parang-
away. So you can imagine this thing going here, papasok, tapos yung axle going through. If you can see the wear mark, that's what's causing the squeak. Kumikis-kis siya dyan
Sa
sa
mismong ano?
sa kung saan siya nakashoot.
Oo.
Yeah. So that's what's causing the squeak. It's
Okay.
not the bearing. And there's no grease that can hold there.
Yeah, kasi put a grease and then give it time.
Yeah, it'll just be, mapawipe
wash off.
away siya.
Oo.
So, right now, my dilemma is I don't know how to fix it. There's a current solution I do when I loosen the axle. Di ba yung nut mo, hinihigpitan mo?
Para lumabas ng konti. ganun.
Oh, pa hindi siya naka-clamp.
Hindi siya hindi
naka-jam.
siya,
Kasi nangyari, because yung nut mo naka-press dyan,
masikip.
kinaklamp niya, hindi na siya gumagalaw. So the spacer moves mismo. You want the axle to move and the spacer to just stay put eh.
Bigyan mo ng konti play.
Yeah. Pero nangyari, because you clamped it on, ngayon the spacer moves along, so kinakayod niya yung ano. There's been one issue where nasira to. This
Which one?
thing fails. That thing is called the cam chain tensioner.
This one?
Yeah.
Ito yung naka-pop out? Ito?
I'll show it to you. I also check this part sa mga clients ko. So this spring, you can see, di ba it's bending a bit? There are some Himalayans with defective springs. Over time, this thing buckles.
Okay.
As in, biglang magbe-bend lang siya at mawawala yung tension, yung pressure niya. So kasi this thing is pressing on something para ma-maintain yung tension.
Okay.
If this thing buckles and eventually mag-loosen yung chain sa loob, yung cam chain mo, baka sumabog yung engine mo.
Okay.
So normally, ang signs niyan on how to identify is, it'll sound like someone's dragging a chain sa ground. Like,
So maririnig mo siya?
yeah, you're gonna
You'll
hear
hear
it. You'll hear like someone's dragging a chain on the ground. But it's coming from your engine. Yeah, you better have this checked ASAP. Ang solution dyan, permanent solution, get the cam chain tensioner of the of the Interceptor. It's a direct fit. It's a direct fit, but for some reason, the metal's made different. The metal lasts longer.
Okay.
Kaya minsan ang joke namin, like, the Himalayan and the Interceptor are totally different. It's like different bikes made by different companies. Nagbe-bend siya, di ba? Yung amin, medyo mas malala na onte eh. Still okay, pero eventually bibigay din. Kaya ang permanent solution dito, long-term solution,
Palit na.
is to change it to the cam chain tensioner of the Interceptor. Pero yun nga, like any bike, as long as you know it, when you buy the bike, you should know all the potential issues. And once you fix it, there are permanent fixes to all of these naman eh. There hardly any of them are recurring issues na once you fix it, babalik. There are permanent issues, solutions to everything. And once you fix all of them, eventually the Himalayan's good. It can bring you to places. This thing has gone to Sagada twice, Bicol twice.
But you gotta address those known issues first, no?
You gotta address it, or at least you
Wait
know
for
the
it
signs
until it
of it.
fails,
And when you hear the signs, you have it fixed na. Yun lang. it's a simple bike. It has its flaws because it's a budget adventure bike. Pero once you adjust everything naman, it's good. It's totally worth it. These bikes are built to last, but they're built to last with care. Many of these things are annoyances eh. Yung swing arms sound. Annoyance yan eh. Yung bearing. Once you change it properly, it never comes back. Stator, well, chances are there are more FIs ata than carbon.
So recently.
Yeah, you won't have a problem.
And then yung spring.
Spring, obvious yun kung may problema eh. Hindi siya biglaan eh. Kumakalansing eh. Parang kang may hinahatak na kadena sa side.
You would know. Kumbaga, you would know if it failed already. Hindi siya parang sirabaw, hindi.
Yeah. It's the kind of sound na when you come in sa casa, maririnig ng mga tao, tapos biglang, uy pare, ano yung titingin sa makina mo. May ganun eh. It's not a tik-tik-tik-tik eh. Kalansing. Kumakalansing, that's the word. Other than that, other annoyances here, the valve clearances has to be done frequently. On Japanese bikes, I think the average is around 20. And even for big bikes na yung sa going Japan na big bikes, the casa never opens up the engine until 40,000 kilometers. That's when they adjust the valves. For some reason, sa manual nito, 5,000 kilometers. And ako naman, I don't like opening the engine that frequently. It's one, dagdag gastos sa mayari. And number two, it's not like you're gonna notice it that much. There's nothing bad that's gonna go wrong if it's out of tune. Probably
Why is it nuisance? Maingay.
No, it's actually gonna be more quiet. After I adjust your valves, it's gonna be noisier.
Ganoon.
Kasi I'm increasing the clearance.
The clearance.
So yung tik-tik-tik niya, lalakas lalo kasi lumalaki yung clearance. Pero pag mainit na makina mo, wala na.
Dapat wala na.
Yung maingay siya sa umaga, maririnig
kasi wala pang oil, you know?
No, it's because of the clearance. Kasi pag uminit na yung engine, yung metal mo nag-expand. So the clearance is meant to account for that expansion. So habang malamig, yun nga, maingay yun, sobrang tik-tik-tik-tik na pareho. Pag mainit na, quiet na siya. The Royal Enfield group is actually one of the best groups in the, and best brands for the group as a group. It's because despite all the deficiencies I said, the group is actually very close and very well knit. Parang we even have yung Royal Enfield North, which is like the younger side. Lumalabas nga parang the younger side of Royal Enfield eh.
Yeah, active yun, yung group
so,
na yun. Diba? They really ride every week.
So yeah, so you can easily say na parang it's a well-knit group that takes care of each other. And I've seen other brands, other groups, and none comes close eh.
Yeah.
Siguro, I'm not sure how the bigger bikes, the Harley guys or yung mga Harley groups, I don't know how they operate. I don't work on them. Pero so far, compared to Kawasaki, Yamaha, or yung mga group ng Royal Enfield is like totally different. And the nice thing is, they're very open even if you don't have a Royal Enfield. Even if you have a different brand, it's okay, just ride.
Alright everyone, I'm back at the house and the bike is at tip-top condition, ready for the trail tomorrow, which also I'm gonna share with you. And today we learned a lot of things from TPS to stator, to the bearing at the head tube, to the squeaking noise, and making sure that the battery is tight. And thanks again, Dennis, for sharing all those knowledge and tips with us. And if you like this video, please subscribe and hit on the bell icon so you'll be notified whenever I upload new videos. Take care, okay? Enjoy the rest of the day. Ciao.